Hello, my name is Joseph Nagel, and as you can see, I am here today at Lowell Observatory, one of the greatest astronomical observatories of all time. I am here today because I feel that I have always been extremely influenced by the topic of astronomy, and I feel that has always really entertained my mind. Overall, space is a great, mystical unknown that has always stimulated the mind of great scientists to make great discoveries when thought not possible. Percival Lowell, the man who created this observatory, was one of those curious people who was influenced by the vast unknownness of space. This stimulated him to create his very own observatory, as seen here, which has achieved some of the greatest astronomical findings and discoveries of all time. Overall, throughout this tour, I'm going to be going over three main areas of Percival Lowell in his history, his equipment that he used and created to discover these astronomical phenomenons, and the purpose of the observatory today, being a great educational facility as well as a great research facility still to this day. During this section of our tour, I'm going to be going over and sharing with you guys some of the history and the background of the famous Percival Lowell. Percival Lowell established his very own observatory in 1894. Percival, as seen here, graduated from Harvard with a degree in mathematics. After graduating, he went immediately into working with his grandfather for 6 years, and then went on to working in the Orient. After that, he got influenced and decided in 1894 he wanted to establish and start his very own observatory, initially to study his own interest, Mars. Historically, the observatory has taken part in many tremendous astronomical discoveries, including the detection of the universe expanding, the detection of our ninth planet, Pluto, moon mapping for our Apollo missions, and the discovery of rings on Uranus, as well as also discovering an atmosphere on Pluto. Because of all these scientific discoveries and cultural heritage, the Lowell Observatory has been recognized as a natural historic landmark by the National Park Services, and later was granted by Hillary Clinton in her Save America's Treasures program, which caused in 2011 Time magazines to list Lowell Observatory as one of the world's most 100 important places in the world. Overall, Lowell Observatory has made many important discoveries with its telescopes, including the Pluto telescopes and the Clark refractor, which I'm going to be going over the history and background of in the next section of our tour. During this part of our tour, I'm going to be primarily going over and discussing some of the main equipment that Percival Lowell created and used here at his observatory for his amazing scientific discoveries. These pieces of equipment are amazing pieces of equipment around the 1900s because there was nothing else like it around that time, and it truly changed the astronomical world. The Pluto telescope, as seen here, was built in 1928 through 1929 for the main reason of finding the ninth planet, or otherwise known as Planet X, Pluto. Lowell and other astronomers believed that a ninth planet truly did exist and were really determined to find it. They knew this because Neptune was mathematically taking longer to go around the sun than calculated, so they knew some intense massive object was beyond Neptune at this time. Finally, one day, reviewing a set of glass negatives, Percival Lowell's assistant, Clyde Tombaugh, made the first recognized sightings of the object, which was later named Pluto. Although sadly we know today that Pluto is no longer a planet due to the astronomical definition of a planet changing. This happened when a bunch of astronomers got together and decided what this new definition should be, which Pluto sadly did not fit in. The Pluto telescope, like the Clark telescope, is one of the most famous telescopes in the history of American research from all the work that it has done. The Clark refractor is known as a beautiful piece of antique equipment that Lowell began working on in 1895. The Clark's main purpose was to study the heavens, specifically nearby moons and planets. The Clark refractor really worked on mapping Mars and really worked on mapping the moon for our Apollo missions, and really brought a lot of recognition to the Lowell Observatory, which eventually raised it up to be what it is here today. The two pieces of astronomical equipment that have provided intensive research in the past, but stand mostly to be educational purposes today. In this next section of our tour, I'm going to be primarily going over and discussing the main purpose of the Lowell Observatory today, providing us a great educational experience, as well as providing modern, important research still to this day. Lowell Observatory's past astronomical discoveries provide a great and current interpretive educational experience for students and anyone interested in the topic of astronomy. Lowell Observatory provides a variety of tons of varying tours like the Solar System program, the Galaxy and Universe program, the Sun and Moon viewing programs, each having their own specific educational purpose. These tours are for all ages, young or old, because everyone can be interested in the friendly topic of space, no matter who you are or where you're from. Lowell still provides modern and current research for astronomy, providing tons of new information to this day. Like, for example, on October 18th, 2017, astronomers at Lowell Observatory observed a comet vastly slowing down when approaching its rotation around Earth, with scientists thinking that it could actually slow down completely and start its own distant rotation around Earth. Another example of Lowell's current research is on June 12, 2017, a new study led by Michael West at Lowell Observatory revealed that the most massive galaxies in the universe have been aligned with their surroundings for the past tens of billions of years, being the furthest back in time this phenomenon has ever been recorded or seen. So as it can be seen, Lowell Observatory stands as a great research facility still to this day, discovering new information as well as being very friendly, teaching and offering education to all those interested in the astronomical world. Overall, throughout this tour, I have provided a brief presentation of the history of Percival Lowell and his very own observatory. Lowell Observatory is still a very important and vibrant place today, more than 120 years after its original construction date. Lowell Observatory is home to great telescope equipment, including the Pluto telescope and the Clark refractor, which have both made their own tremendous discoveries in their own brilliant ways. The observatory today is more active than ever, with its current research and educational programs provided to the best of both worlds. The take-home message I would like you to learn from coming on this tour is that the Lowell Observatory has changed the minds of humans in such a way that the scientific community wouldn't be the same today without it. I would like to thank the audience for attending this overview of the observatory, and I would like to encourage them to take advantage of all it has to offer, including visiting its equipment and just joining some of the more specific educational tours. I hope that you will bring your family and friends to this amazing historical place of astronomy because of its great brilliance. Many famous astrophysicists like Carl Sagan, Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and many more famous astrophysicists have visited Lowell Observatory. I hope that after going on this tour, I have influenced you to come participate here as well because of its beauty and its great significance.